Top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning. What's up? It's the Culture Detective here, feeling kind of sleepy for some reason, investigating your favorite TV shows. And today I'm going to do a TV review on Succession Season 2. So, not too long ago, I binge watched the entire Succession Season 1, and I like it. Even though there are boring moments, it started off kind of rough, but as expected of a TV show of this scale, really. So, Succession is an HBO TV show created by Jesse Armstrong, and it is essentially about a super rich family who runs a company by the name of Waystar Royco. And this company is probably the most powerful company on the entire earth. They control everything, all the way from the news to parks and cruises to like literally everything. They're super rich, they're super powerful, and they're super famous, and that's kind of the story. But because there are a lot of people who want to take control and become CEO of Waystar Royco, there is a lot of backstabbing, there's a lot of betrayals, there's a lot of lying and secrets, there's a lot of thickening of the lore, and I really like that kind of stuff. I really, really like that kind of stuff. And on top of that, this isn't just a serious drama where everybody's trying to take control of something like King Lear, but it is also kind of a comedy. It pokes fun at a lot of these super high class, rich families who are all dipshits and assholes, and this TV show successfully makes fun of that. But anyways, wow, season 2 is way better than season 1, and I haven't enjoyed a live action TV show this much for a long time. The last time I watched a TV show that impressed me this much is, I think, Dark, because wow, Succession is freaking amazing. First of all, the story of this season is way more engaging and way more compelling than last season. I think it's mainly because I have grown to care about the characters more. In the beginning of season 1, I pretty much hate every single character. They all suck. They're all mean and hateful, and none of them are likable at all or relatable. I mean, they're all rich and selfish, you know? But yeah, as the story progresses, we begin to see more character development, and I start to really care about certain characters, like our main character, played by Jeremy Strong, uh, Kendall Roy. Wow, I'm so sleepy. Kendall Roy. I began to really root for him because, yeah, while Kendall Roy is obviously selfish and greedy, he wants to become CEO, and he has done a few things that had fell flat and fired back at his own face, but ultimately seeing him lose this much, I just kind of want to see him win for once. So I kind of rooted for Kendall for the entirety of season 2, and then there are the characters of Tom and Greg, which at first I don't like them at all. Tom is the definition of a beta male. He is weak, dependent, and he likes to lick boots and kiss ass. But, you know, he's actually kind of suffering in the inside. So I really want to see Tom stand up for himself. And then we have Greg, who is pretty much the assistant of Tom. And Greg is kind of similar to Tom because Greg is a newbie. Greg is new to the game. Greg is young. He's fresh and he doesn't know what to do. So I really want to see Greg step up and, you know, do something shady. So I really care about these 3 characters, and they sort of carry the entire story for me. But I kind of care about other characters as well. And I love the acting. I think the acting is amazing. Of course, Jeremy Strong as Kendall is just freaking amazing. Freaking amazing. Everybody's acting is amazing. They all fit into their roles like gloves. And I think I should applaud the acting just as much as I applaud the casting. The casting is brilliant. I think even if that actor isn't a great actor, all of these actors and actresses chosen for their roles are amazing because the casting is just so good. Kieran Culkin is basically Roman Roy in real life. Nicholas Brown, I think that's his name, he's basically Greg in real life. The Matthew McFadden, she's basically Tom in real life. There's Sarah Snook, he's basically Siobhan Roy in real life. Brian Cox, he acts like Logan Roy in real life too. Everybody acts like their own characters in real life, if you have watched the interviews, because the casting is just so good. They managed to get these actors and tell them to almost improvise a little bit in every scene in succession, and it doesn't even matter because they are almost like their own characters, and that is really smart. I also really like the dialogues in Succession. Succession made me realize that dialogues don't have to be one way. Dialogues don't have to be written in a there is no the right way to write dialogues. There's no such thing as the real way of writing dialogues. So, of course, given that I've watched movies and TV shows, there are a lot of dialogues types, like if you watch a lot of shitty teen dramas and superhero shows, you have the cringy, corny ass, unrealistic dialogues. And if you've watched more realistic shows like Mad Men and The Wire, then you'd have the very realistic dialogues where people talk over each other. If you watch Noah Baumbach movies, and then there are dialogues where it gets very niche and specific and ranty, like Fight Club dialogue, those narration dialogues. There's the snarky, witty, sharp Martin Scorsese, Quentin Tarantino dialogue. There are so many types of dialogues, but there is no the right type. They all work because in reality you can say whatever shit you want, and if it makes sense, then who cares? And that's kind of Succession, because some of the dialogues here are just freaking whack. They are whack. They mean nothing. They literally mean nothing. And it's fine, as long as it gets its point across. As long as you are able to understand it. It's fine if it's weird. It's fine if it doesn't make much sense. It's just people talking. Words. They're nothing. They're just complicated airflow. But, yeah, Succession, here you go. Let's go through it episode by episode. Episodes 1 and 2 are kind of slow paced as expected, but I kind of don't mind given what happened in season 1, episode 10. And then the rest of the entire season is just amazing. Episode 3 is where the family went on a family retreat in Hungary. They went hunting, and tensions rise, obviously. So during that during that period of time, Logan Roy really wanted to buy a company by the name of Pierce, which is a company that owns another news network, and Logan Roy wants to buy all the news and control everything. And obviously the board, the other people, they didn't agree with Logan Roy. So there's a lot of tension in that. And there's a boar on the floor scene which made me cringe really hard. And in a good way, because it's supposed to make me cringe. It's a very uncomfortable scene, and everybody's acting is so great, and it's so brutal. Episode 4, Safe Room, is another really great episode. We have a random shooting in the in the Waystar Royco building. And it has resulted in a lot of funny scenes that I really enjoyed. It also developed a relationship between Tom and Greg, which is something that I really like. Seeing them interact, Tom at first doesn't even care about Greg, Tom at first just wants to use Greg or find someone to bully, because he can't bully the higher ups, so he must bully the lower downs because he wants to satisfy himself. But at this stage, in this episode, their relationship became more sophisticated. Tom finally had more respect for Greg, and Greg has his own game going. So that is really nice. Episode 5 is insane. So, Logan Roy wanted to buy Pierce, so they went to the Pierce family house and had a dinner there, and that is one of the most uncomfortable dinner scenes I have ever seen in movie, TV show, anything history. It is so incredibly uncomfortable. I'm not even kidding. And there's so many characters in that dinner table, and they all just, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Like, everybody's just messing up big time. Roman Roy tries to be, he's kind of a narcissist, kind of selfish, kind of rude, and he comes off like that in the dinner table. Connor Roy wanted to become president, and so, and given that the Roy family and the Pierce family has different political agendas, it just made the whole situation so much more awkward. And yeah, wow. Episodes 6 and 7 are a little bit slower paced, but I still enjoy them. Episode 6 is basically the end of the Pierce arc, where there's this thing called Argestes, and they have to go there, and it's sort of like a great gathering between a lot of rich people, like businessmen, and for some reason there is a person who was going to expose Waystar Royco's dark, filthy secrets, but that person remains anonymous, and the people at Waystar Royco has no idea what that person knows. So, in that episode, Logan Roy tries to get Pierce to sign the deal and let the Roys buy Pierce before that story comes out. Otherwise, it's all ruined. But of course, the reality is not as easy. And another great episode. And we have episode 7, Return, which is very slow paced, where they basically, the story came out, and now the Waystar Royco family has to go to different places and talk to people and basically try to mend their wrongdoings, and try to ask the shareholders to, continue giving them shares, because And in this episode, Kendall Roy has to face his own past, and it's a slow-paced episode, but seeing Kendall Roy revisit this past that he's been trying so hard to put away is, again, brutal. Really brutal. Also, I forgot to mention that on episode 2, Kendall Roy guts a small company called Walter, and I really love that scene, even though in the grander scheme of things, I don't think Walter had played that much of a role in the story. But anyways, back to the last 3 episodes. Wow! What? So, episode 8 is the funniest episode I've ever seen in succession. It's hilarious. It is actually hilarious. So it's a 50-year anniversary since Waystar Royco was founded, and they threw this huge surprise dinner party, and it's both incredibly awkward and incredibly intense, because essentially after the Pierce deal, the Pierces basically, or the head of the Pierce family, Nan, she fired the bridge between the Roy family and Pierce, and that bridge is Rhea Jarrell. And so instead, Logan Roy decided to have Rhea Jarrell join Waystar Royco out of nowhere and make her super powerful. And the rest of the entire company basically hates her. And in this entire episode, they basically bully the hell out of her, and it's hilarious. And the surprise dinner is funny as hell. We have Logan Roy's very shocked reaction to the surprise, Jesus H. Christ, and then we have Kendall Roy's very cringy rap performance. And it's awesome how we have basically seen Kendall Roy from every single side possible. He could be smoking cocaine and being cool as a cucumber, putting his feet on the table. And then he could be caring about his kid, defending his kid against his dad after his dad punched his own kid. He could be very sad, after the finale of season 1. He cried, and for a very long time he has become this emotionless, or rather this broken person. And we see all sides of him, and now he's rapping on the stage again, and then he could be very charismatic in front of people like Naomi Pierce. So we get to see all sides of him, and I think that's one of the reasons why his character is just so fleshed out, because we see all sides of him. But yeah, that scene is cringy. Episodes 9 and 10 is incredible. Essentially, another person came out with an even bigger story exposing the dark, filthy secrets of Waystar Royco. And that involves a lot of sexual abuse and even murder allegations, because it's real, in the cruises lines of Waystar Royco. And that is right before the shareholder meeting, which is a very decisive... I don't even know business stuff, but from what I know is that this shareholder meeting thing is supposed to be a very decisive meeting where these shareholders decide, okay, who should I side on? Should I side on Waystar Royco or everybody else? So it's a very decisive meeting, and it got worse because they had to do congressional hearing in DC, and so we have a lot of very intense and very dramatic scenes, and yeah, wow. But episode 10 is really the piece of cake here. For the most part, episode 10 is just a boat vacation, but it's a pretty tense one where for the entire boat vacation, the entire company, the board, they had to decide who to sacrifice. They need to find one person and pin all the allegations on that one person, and then just discard that person into the trash. And that whole scene in the dinner table was very tense. And all at the same time, Tom has had enough. He has been bullied enough. He has been bullied enough by people from the higher ups. And Tom finally stood up for himself. The scene where he ate the piece of chicken was insane. I was like, when I watched the scene, I was actually shocked. And yeah, the scene where Logan tells Kendall his plan is heartbreaking. The performances are stellar, and there's so much going on. There's also a scene at the end of episode 9 where Roman and 2 others get trapped in a hotel in somewhere in Turkey, I think. That was a really good scene as well. But the final scene of episode 10 is truly astounding. What Kendall did. And yeah, really hypes me up for season 3. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Succession season 2. Wow, what a great season. I also really like the fact that a lot of these storylines are inspired by real life events, like the whole trapped in a hotel thing, the very rich, powerful company being questioned by the Congress thing. Yeah, it's amazing, and I like it, and I'm looking forward to season 3. I'm giving Succession season 2 a decent 9. So, have you watched Succession? From 1 to number, did you rate it, like, and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.